This is the CBS Evening News. Bill Lagatuda reporting. Good evening. John Salvi, the accused abortion clinic killer, remains jailed tonight in Virginia. He's expected to appear in court on Tuesday. Today, more details emerged about Salvi, a student hairdresser who's charged with opening fire at 2 health clinics near Boston on Friday and killing 2 receptionists. Correspondent Diana Olick has the latest.
On this New Year's Day, prayers went out to the victims of the Boston abortion clinic killings.
We continue to pray that peace, mutual respect, and civil discourse replace any and all acts of violence.
The Archbishop of Boston, Bernard Cardinal Law, stressed that activists on both sides of the abortion debate must now be more careful than ever, even in their rhetoric.
I think all of us, whatever our position is, need to be attentive to the violence of word. There is violence in word, and violence begets violence.
For the mother of Leanne Nichols, killed in Friday's shooting rampage, no words can be worth her daughter's life.
All I can think about her at this point is my daughter was gunned down by a madman. And how dare that happen?
The violence ended in Norfolk, Virginia, where the accused gunman John Salvi of New Hampshire is under arrest, charged with firing into an occupied building. That building housed an abortion clinic. Police in New Hampshire confiscated evidence from Salvi's apartment, including anti-abortion pamphlets and graphic photos of fetuses, but so far nothing that links him to any specific anti-abortion group. Neighbors say he was a loner.
Not a lot of people came around to see him and stuff.
Today in Norfolk, though, people came together to support his actions.
Why is the life of a receptionist worth more than the lives of 50 innocent human babies?
Later this week, Salvi is expected to be returned here to Massachusetts, where he faces murder charges in connection with the killings of the 2 abortion clinic receptionists. Although there is no death penalty in this state, under the new crime bill, if convicted on federal charges, Salvi still could face that punishment. For now, though, they continue to pray for peace and hope that this violence will not continue into the new year. Diana Olick, CBS News, Boston.
The new year brings no signs of peace to the breakaway Russian Republic of Chechnya. By all accounts, resistance in the capital of Grozny has grown more fierce and determined, and so has the Russian government's attempt to crush the independence movement. Correspondent Jonathan Sanders on the Chechen border has more tonight.
Whatever is actually happening in Grozny, there can be no doubt about one thing. The city has become an urban battlefield and a living hell. The Russians claim a successful advance into the capital and say they surround key Chechen points. The Chechens say, and some independent reports confirm, it's now the Russians themselves who are surrounded. Today, burned Russian bodies and tanks litter the area around the Chechen presidential palace, the same palace the Russian government claims to control. Chechen reinforcements continue to pour into the city, looking and sounding far from beaten. We were waiting for the Russian forces to enter the city, he says. They don't know how to fight, only how to bomb from the sky. Now even Moscow acknowledges ferocious opposition. Tonight it's clear this war will go on, street by street, house by house. Even in the understaffed and unheated hospitals, the Chechen fighting spirit is strong, no matter how badly the body has been damaged. As the new year begins here in Chechnya, doctors and nurses aren't the only ones who are busy. Gravediggers, too, have their hands full. This day, a 21-year-old man is being laid to rest, a believer in the Chechen cause, shot through the head by a Russian sniper. The Chechens resolved they would fight until victory, or until every last man would be laid in his grave. On the 1st of this year, their resolution is being fulfilled. Jonathan Sanders, CBS News, Chechnya.
What should the U.S. response be to the continued bloodshed in Chechnya? And should the U.S. harden its policy toward Russian President Boris Yeltsin for ordering the continued bombing of Grozny? Correspondent Eric Engberg has today's political reaction.
Happy New Year. Thank you. President Clinton, spending the New Year's weekend at an oceanfront retreat in South Carolina, today made no public statements on the Russian crisis. But the ferocity of the central government assault on the Chechen rebels is bringing warnings to Boris Yeltsin from both the administration and congressional Republicans. Senate Leader Dole declared U.S. financial aid to Russia, amounting to $800 million this year alone, could be imperiled by a Chechnya bloodbath.
Obviously, this is going to be troubling the American people. If Boris Yeltsin, for example, is looking for additional assistance from the Congress of the United States, this is certainly...
He's not going to get it?
Well, I would say not going to get it, but there's certainly going to be a big hurdle to jump.
In an interview recorded Friday, National Security Advisor Anthony Lake restated U.S. support for Russia's territorial integrity, but seemed to indicate a partial shift in policy by calling on Yeltsin for more restraint.
The issue for us is what their military tactics are, and we're very concerned that the kinds of tactics they've been using have led to many more deaths than we think should have occurred.
The Chechnya violence also appeared to be giving the Republicans another political issue to use against the president at a time when they're taking control of Congress.
This administration is full of Yeltsin files. We should have been in the past and must now look at all elements of leadership within Russian society.
It was clear that official U.S. concern was mounting, not only over the toll of civilian lives in Chechnya, but over the threat to a very fragile democracy in Russia. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Still ahead on this New Year's Day edition of the CBS Evening News, the nation's capital makes ready for the 104th Congress.
For every unbearable chill, for every wrenching cough, every fever, every ache, every miserable congestion, it's got to be Theraflu every time. From your bad cold to your worst flu, Maximum Strength Theraflu delivers serious relief in soothing hot liquid or new non-drowsy caplets. When it's not just a cold, it's got to be Theraflu. Hot liquid or new non-drowsy caplets.
You make me feel so young.
Primus Ultra, the first fat-free margarine, just 5 calories a serving.
You make me feel so young.
Fat-free Primus Ultra. Get heart smart.
Oh, I love this house.
Me too.
Well, Andy, you're a millionaire. Why not buy one like it?
We're planning on it.
And why don't you dream about what you'd do with this $10 million prize?
But don't dream too long. Enter before it's too late.
By the end of the week, 7 more lives will be saved. By the end of the day, 16 people who couldn't walk will. By the end of the hour, these special filters will help make 25,000 more gallons of water ready for drinking. And by the end of this message, 1 more premature baby will be protected. All of which is made possible with the help of a material we call plastic.
The new Congress convenes this week with Republicans in the majority for the first time in 40 years. The way they see it, there's no stopping them. Correspondent Linda Douglas reports.
When the 104th Congress convenes on Wednesday, Republicans in the House of Representatives promise to put on quite a show. Brace yourselves, they say. That first day is going to be a doozy.
We will reduce the number of committees the opening day.
We're going to have 40-some votes, and it's going to be a long day.
This will be the longest opening day of any Congress, I'm sure, in anybody's memory.
On day one, House Republicans will rush to pass 8 reforms from their contract with America, forcing members of Congress to abide by laws from which they are now exempt, cutting House committees and staffs, and more. But how can Republicans be so sure they'll speak with one voice, something the Democrats have never done?
The House Republicans will be cohesive. They'll be anxious to demonstrate that they can get legislation through. And I think that will mean deferring to the leadership of a strong central speaker.
Enter Newt Gingrich, to whom many credit the Republican takeover of Congress. Among his foot soldiers are 73 new members, most of them young, politically inexperienced, and devoted to their fiercely conservative speaker.
We intend to be revolutionaries in the sense that we are actually going to do after the election what we said we would do before the election.
On opening day, all eyes will be on the House of Representatives, much to the frustration of the Senate, which likes to think of itself as the more prestigious body. Senate leaders are lukewarm to much of the House's agenda, but they also don't want to be left in the dust.
What happens in the House may be a little different in the Senate because we have different rules and we can't push things as quickly as they can in the House. But I'm excited about it.
Dole has already made some promises. He told Republican governors that he'll push right away to free states from having to pay for federal programs. But the Senate is expected to move cautiously. The House will do anything but.
At the end of the day, the American people are saying, Lord have mercy, look what they've done already on day one. These people really are serious.
Linda Douglas, CBS News, Washington.
The Republican power drive reaches beyond the nation's capital to the state capitals. And the new governors have strong feelings about the federal government, as correspondent Anthony Mason reports.
In New York today, the Republicans struck up the band and pulled out the heavy artillery to inaugurate the state's first Republican governor in 20 years.
I, Georgie Pataki, do solemnly swear.
And Governor Pataki immediately sent a declaration of independence to Washington.
Too often, faceless bureaucrats tell local government what it must do and when it must do it. This too must end.
That refrain will be heard in a lot of other state capitals this week. Republicans gained 11 governor seats this past November. They now control 30 states and have their own model for reform. It was built in part in Michigan by Governor John Engler, who won re-election easily after he cut state spending, slashed property taxes, and cut welfare for the able-bodied. Engler says 1 in 4 welfare recipients now work in Michigan. Nationally, it's 1 in 10. States, he says, can do it better.
And there's just a belief that Washington's gotten too big, too expensive, too powerful, takes too much money, takes too long, and is doing too poor of a job.
Weld of Massachusetts, Whitman of New Jersey, Wilson of California are all disciples of this philosophy. The new Republican congressional leadership promises to give the states more control over programs.
It is Republican governors across this country who created the framework of experience which we now have to bring to apply it to the national level.
The governors are determined not to be ignored.
And I think this is a situation where the Republican governors will feel even more yeasty and confident of themselves and anxious to go out and make points, because I think they see themselves as rivals for the control of the party and possibly for the 1996 Republican nomination.
They held a yeasty and confident celebration in New York today. Most of the attention will be on Washington this week, but Republican governors believe this is their victory, too. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
At the Olive Garden, come warm up with one of our hearty soups, made fresh every day, like our pasta fagioli. Absolutely delicious. And soup or salad is free with every entree only at the Olive Garden Italian restaurant.
When I was a kid, Mom was always after me to eat right.
And that's what mothers do.
Now I'm looking out for her with Ensure. More than a vitamin supplement, Ensure is a delicious drink with all the nutrients adults need to help stay healthy, active, be energetic.
Drink Ensure as a meal.
Or in between.
You know, dear, Ensure is even recommended #1 by doctors as a source of complete, balanced nutrition.
Ensure. To your health, Mom.
Our health, dear.
It's tough finding glasses that fit perfectly. So LensCrafters invented a new measuring system called AccuFit that measures the size of your face.
L10, I remember that.
Once you've been measured, finding the right glasses is simple.
I like these.
Okay. The size is clearly marked on the frame, so you'll know which one is right for you.
Here?
Only LensCrafters has AccuFit. We're able to get the correct size the first time and satisfy the customer with the best quality glasses.
It's a nice fit.
That's what we do here.
LensCrafters, helping people see better, 1 hour at a time.
When the food you love doesn't love you back, try new Maalox Assorted Tablets. 3 tasty flavors in 1 handy bottle. Maalox Assorted Tablets. Life is good.
He worked at a surgery center while carrying a deadly infection. Now hundreds are at risk. 1 in 5 have it. Their lives devastated.
It'll never go back to the way it used to be. It'll never go back to a happy family.
And at the time, the clinic knew but didn't tell. How could it happen? The story tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
A police helicopter in Riverside, California made an emergency landing last night after being hit by gunfire. The helicopter was responding to reports of shots being fired into the air to celebrate New Year's. 3 bullets hit the chopper in what police say was a deliberate shooting. The pilot was slightly hurt. 4 patients of a hospital in Petersburg, Virginia are dead following a New Year's Eve fire. 5 other people were injured when the blaze gutted part of the Southside Regional Medical Center. It's believed the fire started in a patient's room. New Year's is the traditional time to start off with a clean slate, but the residents of one town in Alabama were forced to start over months ago after their lives were disrupted by a deadly tornado. More from Art Rascone on a community whose faith has been tested and proven strong.
Sunrise in Piedmont, Alabama, awakening the community to the biblical words, where there is faith, there is hope. But what this serene beauty does not show is the anguish of a community that lost its church and many of its members.
We got a call in from a bystander that tornado had hit here at the church.
Palm Sunday, 9 months ago, a twister ripped through this small Methodist church, killing 6 children and 14 adults. Words and even tears cannot express the tremendous amount of grief and pain in this community. But there is an undeniable faith among mourners that is proving to be a powerful anchor of support. When nature and religion collided, Reverend Kelly Clem lost her 4-year-old daughter, Hannah.
We'll never be the same again, and I feel like all of us are stronger and more, I think our faith is stronger.
She is now reuniting families with her sermons of endurance. Marcus Woods is 13 years old, and now he's the new man of the house. His father, Buddy, and 9-year-old sister, Amy, were killed.
We did a lot of things together. We'd go fishing, me, him, and Amy.
His mother, Mary, is also alone, but not without vivid memories of her daughter.
Amy was an angel. She was an angel here on earth. She was always happy, smiling. She was a tomboy.
Patricia Abbott is still playing the organ, as she did when the church collapsed. At 55, she has taken over her husband's duties. Earl Abbott and her 5-year-old grandson were killed in the church.
There are rough times. There are some very rough times. But overall, I'm fine.
So behind this open field of broken limbs and downed trees is a powerful holiday message, one of hope and healing that has strengthened the faith of everyone here. Art Rascone, CBS News, Piedmont, Alabama.
1847, an invention from Siemens makes it possible for written words to be electrically transmitted over vast distances. That was then. This is now. Today, the ingenuity of Siemens people is breaking new ground in communications and in medicine, in transportation, in energy and automation. At 70 manufacturing sites in America, Siemens' inventiveness continues to open doors to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
Order anything here at the cafe, and you'll be assured of one thing: light-tasting, delicious food. Because I'm cooking with something new. Crisco Natural Blend. A blend of pure canola and vegetable oils that reflects today's light living. With only 1 gram of saturated fat, I thought the leading blend was light. But this is lighter in color and taste. So bring in a healthy appetite. And remember, light taste is your order of the day.
Crisco Natural Blend. Because cooks who know trust Crisco.
What a time for a cold. Our oldest was in the playoffs. My nose was stuffed, my chest was congested, and I was coughing.
So I went to the store. There were a million brands of cold medicine, but only one Robitussin. Robitussin Liquid Gel's cold formulas. The pharmacist said they're really powerful.
I felt so much better. Because of Robitussin, I got to watch Terry make the play of the game.
Robitussin Liquid Gels. Discover Robitussin Relief for your cold. And try new Robitussin Cold, Cough, and Flu Liquid Gels for severe flu symptoms.
A 4-month truce the UN hopes will end the war in Bosnia went into effect today. And in Sarajevo, which has been under siege for 1,001 days, it was a peaceful New Year's. Meantime, those accused of war crimes in Bosnia may find themselves before a UN tribunal, which has received a U.S. pledge of $13 million. More on this story now from Barry Peterson.
Germany is still haunted by Hitler's final solution. Haunted by the need to act now that such horrors are operating again, this time in Serb-controlled parts of Bosnia.
We have to be
even more committed than others. When it happens again, that we pursue a line which says, let's stop it as soon as possible and let's search for opportunity that it will never happen again.
Hundreds of thousands of Bosnian refugees fled to Germany. Among them, say officials, are those who committed war crimes. On this Munich street, police acted on a tip from refugees, arresting Duško Tadić, who may be the first to face UN charges for brutal murders at a Serb concentration camp. And Germany's parliament is expected to change the country's laws so Tadić and others can be extradited. They will be sent to The Hague in the Netherlands, where the UN War Crimes Commission, finally up and running, hopes to be around for a long time.
If we succeed in getting and convicting and sentencing people who've committed serious violations of international humanitarian law, I cannot accept that this will not affect the conduct in the future of other potential criminals who may be tempted to follow this route.
What is going on here is more than just prosecuting the war crimes in the former Yugoslavia. The idea is that this tribunal could become permanent, that criminals in wars in any place in the world will know that there is now some place where they may very well face justice. Barry Peterson, CBS News, The Hague, Netherlands.
As South Africa's new government enters 1995, it faces a familiar old problem, severe unemployment among blacks. As an example of how serious the problem is, take the return of Pepsi Cola to an apartheid-free South Africa. Maggie Sterner reports.
Pepsi made a sizzling return to the new South Africa. The company ended its 9-year boycott of apartheid with backing from several high-profile American investors. But the cheers were drowned out by angry protesters demanding jobs. They picketed the factory, harassed Pepsi employees, and injured several. There are no jobs here. These desperate men refuse to believe it.
I've got a patient. That is why I'm coming here every day. Even 5 years from now, I'll come. I'm not going to live here until they hire me, until they hire all of us here. I'm not going to leave.
The company says all its workers, most of them black, were hired long before the plant opened. Pepsi's president says his American backers are nervous about the demonstrations.
One has to take into account, I think, the reality of what the employment or how high the unemployment is here and how desperate people are to get jobs.
Pepsi's troubles may be unique, but they're part of a bigger problem. That same culture of protest that helped overturn apartheid may be hurting the country's image now with overseas investors. Job walkouts cost the country millions in lost revenue. The auto industry shut down for 5 weeks when thousands of employees went on strike. Sometimes the walkouts turn violent. About half the country's blacks are unemployed. They're likely to stay that way for some time. Potential foreign investors are taking it slowly.
They're busy investigating the possibilities of entering this market. They are comparing the investment opportunities here to other parts of the world. And that decision-making process is going to take a long time.
South Africa's new government promised change was going to come. Its leaders are sending a new signal to the people now. Expect no great strides anytime soon. Maggie Sterner for CBS News, Johannesburg.
You make me feel so young.
Promise Ultra, the first fat-free margarine, just 5 calories a serving.
You make me feel so young.
Fat-free Promise Ultra. Get heart smart.
I can't believe the day I had my job, my kids, that car. The computer crashed, the dinner burned, I bounced that check, forgot my keys, the cat was lost. I had to find a way to tell my boss his boss's boss was mad. And there's that present I had to get for the bridal shower.
When you have problems falling asleep, try Unisom Sleep Gels. They're maximum strength with a special liquid center, so they'll help you fall asleep fast and wake up refreshed.
Gotta get some sleep tonight. I gotta be my best. I'm glad I took my Unisom.
Try Unisom Sleep Gels and get to sleep fast.
Holy! Are you really?
Since we started the Prize Patrol, we've surprised lots of winners.
I think I need to sit down.
This time, we're going to do things a little differently.
This year, the Publishers Clearinghouse Prize Patrol will surprise the $10 million winner on live TV Sunday, January 29th. Will it be you?
Let's go.
Will you be home? Enter the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes today, and the Prize Patrol could surprise you live on TV Sunday, January 29th.
When the food you love doesn't love you back, try new Maalox Assorted Tablets. 3 tasty flavors in one handy bottle. Maalox Assorted Tablets. Life is good.
One of the country's oldest New Year's Day traditions, Philadelphia's Mummers Parade, stepped off as scheduled today. But for the first time this century, the paraders did not strut down South Broad Street. Because of a construction project, they took a detour to Market Street. Even in this age of anti-smoking, there's a hot new counter-trend among those who like to light up. And as David Culhane reports, you might be surprised at who's doing it.
Get a load of this. They're all
You guys smoke?
smoking cigars.
I think in our minds we have this image of old fogies and smoking their stogies, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's becoming an upscale thing.
And it's not just fogies. It's young gentlemen, like Tom, who's 31.
Oh, some old Canary Island, Monte Cruz.
Good. Thanks, Tom.
These are about 30 years old.
And Joseph, who's 24, from the generation that has studied the lethal character of tobacco and ought to know better.
Nothing better than having written a really good exam and coming home and, allowing yourself that cigar. It's great.
At a time when tobacco is under fierce attack across the country, the Cigar Association of America says sales of premium cigars are up an extraordinary 15%.
There's an awful lot of men who are entering the market, particularly young men in their 20s and early 30s, who are fueling the growth that's taking place. It's an explosion, there's no question about it.
And like everything else these days, it can't be marked for men only. Here's Kelly.
It's almost a rite of passage for men, and it's like, let the women in on it. It's our time.
And here's Lindsay.
Sexy, different. As a woman, it's really different.
Cigars have traditionally been associated with wealth, power, the entrepreneurial spirit. Now, young people have picked up on that. They're flocking to cigar-friendly restaurants, cigar conventions, and cigar dinners like this one at the Plaza Hotel in New York.
Decadence. Total decadent living.
People are even smoking cigars in health-conscious California.
Very trendy.
And do they know that cigars can be just as hazardous to your health as cigarettes?
Life's not a dress rehearsal. It's something I enjoy, and I don't think it's too damaging, so I'm going to continue to do it.
Well, maybe they've heard the advice from the first cigar smoker. Don't inhale. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
And that's the news. Stay tuned for 60 Minutes and later for the CBS Sunday Night News. I'm Bill Agatuda in New York, and from all of us at CBS News around the world, good night and Happy New Year.
Experience CBS News.
Paul Newman is 70? Come on, you're kidding. No, we're not. And we'll prove it when Hollywood's oldest youngster co-stars with Leslie Stahl tonight on 60 Minutes.
This is CBS.